Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello everyone, happy Wednesday.
Hump
We've
day.
officially, hump day. We've made it halfway through the week. We have a very exciting show for you coming up tonight. Our Lauren Weir, fashion expert, will be here talking fall trends and layering, so stay tuned for that. Gerard, obviously on the agriculture beat.
Yeah, agriculture, and another heartstring or thorny subject when you have to let someone go on the family farm. A family member even.
Okay, that's a tough call there. And then we have Beyond the Boards, which is back tonight.
We do. We have Beyond the Boards with Cale Elder. We're going to see how he's adjusting as the rookie goaltender. So.
All right, very cool. Okay, but first we are going to toss it back to Josh, who is at the Civic Center right now, about to take in some hockey.
Thanks very much. I'm back at the Civic Center. Adam C practice going on as we speak, but we are very soon going to get underway with a pivotal matchup of two AJHL North Division rivals. The Lloydminster Bobcats obviously in a hole, last in the division at the moment, while the Pontiacs, meanwhile, sit atop the standings tied at 32 points apiece. Should be a key and exciting contest, and we'll have more, but first, let's throw it back to in studio.
And those who felt left out in the cold after Greyhound's discontinuation can now look forward to a passenger bus line running between Lloydminster and Edmonton. A former Greyhound partner called Cold Shot Parcel Services is taking over many old Greyhound routes in Alberta. With a 15-passenger bus and a smaller trailer, Cold Shot is hoping to expand to cover the consumer-based Greyhound left behind.
An opportunity also to grow. So if they're not doing it, somebody has to fill up that gap. It's either me or it's either Cold Shot or it's somebody else.
The route connects Lloydminster passengers to Edmonton, where they can find routes across the province. They're currently not looking to expand into coach buses until ridership increases. And for more information, you can check out their website. And Co-op's Spread a Little Love This Christmas campaign is back for its 4th year. The campaign aims to give gifts to up to 700 seniors this year in Lloydminster and surrounding areas, including Maidstone, Lashburn, and Neilburg.
This year we've expanded it to include 5 locations where you can pick up the ornaments. We've got at the grocery store in Lloydminster as well as Neilburg, and then our 3 gas bar locations. We've largely heard over the last few years that both for the people who participate as well as the senior citizens, that it really is a program of connection.
And this is something that is very important for the seniors as well.
I think that it's important, first of all, for our residents that they're receiving gifts, and it's part of the season for them, that giving and receiving. It brings great joy and warmth to them during the season.
To participate, you can go to the participating stores, pick up an ornament, and give the gift that is provided on the card. And Jack Kemp Elementary loaded shoe boxes full of toys and hygiene items for Operation Christmas Child. Our Cassandra Hornsby reports on how many boxes were filled.
But I also want the kids to feel like they're bringing them to you.
Denise Block has been organizing the Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes at Jack Kemp for over 10 years.
So we want our students to understand that generosity can mean giving things that you have, but it can also mean giving of your time, your efforts, and your energies towards something bigger than themselves. And it promotes a sense of belonging. We're doing this as a team, as a school, to help kids around the world.
The elementary filled more than 80 boxes, and Block believes by participating in this, it can give youth a sense of pride.
It gives them a sense that they can be helpful even in situations where they don't necessarily know about students around the world. They can learn more about them, they can make a difference, they can have impact, they can learn who's in our community that needs supports too.
Children at the school believe Operation Christmas Child is a great learning experience.
I think it's nice to give and not worry about getting. If you get, that's great, but if you give, that's even more awesome.
Block continues to lead Operation Christmas Child because she thinks that students can feel connected to others and realize how real Operation Christmas Child is for others.
I think it's something that students can grab a hold of, and it's very tangible for them. They can see it. We've tracked our shoe boxes where they've gone. We've received a picture of a student across the world who received a shoebox from Jack Kemp School, so it becomes very, very real to them.
Shoe boxes are open to drop off until the 18th. For Primetime Local News, I'm Cassandra Hornsby.
Now we're going to head it back to Josh Ryan, who is at the Bobcats game today.
Thank you. I'm here with head coach and GM of the Lloydminster Bobcats, Travis Clayton. Travis, it's a very important part of the schedule right now for the team. A month before kind of the Christmas break comes around, you're behind other teams in terms of the games played, as I believe you're last in terms of games played in the division. So if there's going to be a chance to catch up in the standings, this really is a key time.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's time to get winning some hockey games. You know, it doesn't matter that, you know, we're short-staffed. We got to find ways to win hockey games, and these are important ones. And, you know, look at the standings. We're in last place, so every game's important for us.
Absolutely. You mentioned injuries, obviously. Curtis Meagher having missed time. Zach Kaiser currently missing time, you know, your team captain and leader. Safe to say this is a true test for the team at this point in the season and will test their resiliency going forward.
Yeah, you know, it's two big losses, two key losses, right? You know, Curtis Meagher's played, I think he came in, played 4 or 5 games for us, and now Kale's stepped in and played the last 7, 8 games. That's a lot for an 18-year-old, but, you know, we're not using excuses. Kale's kept us in games and won us some hockey games as well, and, you know, losing Zach really hurts. You know, he's a leader on and off the ice, and you know, we can't replace him. But you know, we got guys that, you know, can pick up the slack and fill his hole, and you know, that's what they got to do tonight and going forward.
And hopefully, we'll see them do that tonight against the Bonnyville Pontiacs. Back to you guys momentarily. We'll have more action here at the Civic Center as the evening goes on.
All right, thank you, Josh. Definitely a weather to take in some hockey. Get out of the cold. It is currently -11, feeling much chillier than that. And we did see some flurries all day, and that could continue into the overnight and then again into the weekend, unfortunately. As we look to our satellite radar, just some few patches of precipitation as we saw those on and off light flurries throughout the day, but nothing major. And then here, no watches and warnings currently in effect. As we look to our numbers across the map, -11 here in the border city, pretty much sitting at -11 in our broadcast area. So Cold Lake, Meadow Lake also at -11, Athabasca currently sitting at -11 as well. -7 at Edmonton, Edson currently at -5, -5 in Jasper, -9 in Rocky Mountain House, -6 in Whitecourt, -10 for North Battleford, -11 in Saskatoon, Melfort at -12, and -11 in Prince Albert. As we look now to our broadcast region, -10 in, currently in North Battleford's winds coming out of the west-northwest tonight, dipping down to -16, and then once you factor in the wind, gonna feel like -22 to 25 in the area tomorrow. Still going to be quite chilly, -10 only for the daytime high. Cold Lake, -11 currently. That cloud is going to continue into the overnight, -13. And then tomorrow, still going to feel quite cold as that cloud cover continues, -9 for the daytime high. Currently sitting at -11 here in Lloydminster, overnight dipping down to -16. It's going to feel much cooler than that once you factor in the wind, and that wind is going to play an effect into the morning hours as well. So -11 for a daytime high tomorrow, -16 for the low, and then Friday we have 67% chance we could see some flurries, and that's just going to happen into the evening, which could continue overnight into Saturday morning. So if you are going to be hitting the roads, make sure you're looking at the road conditions before you do so. -5 on Friday and -5 also on Saturday. We'll have more details, including a look at your 7-day forecast, coming up a little bit later.
Mother Teresa Early Childhood Education Center has added a new class for students this year. As Michaela Henschel reports in this week's Beyond the Classroom, students recently showed off the new skills they've been working on.
Students here at Mother Teresa are getting active through song and dance, thanks to a recent partnership between the Lloydminster Catholic School Division and the Alberta Ballet.
We're basically doing movement exercises, some singing, dancing, and fundamentals of dance in a fun way to introduce dancing to the classes.
Octopus, use your arms and legs. 3 days a week, students get out of their typical classroom and head to the studio to explore music and movement. The new course is not only helping students be active, but it's helping develop fundamental skills.
They love it. It's something for them to look forward to. It helps them burn off some extra energy throughout the day, and it's really helping with their fine motor and gross motor skills as well.
And the class also acts as a medium to introduce students to the arts.
I think arts education is important for all of us to get a better understanding of the arts and to appreciate it in our lives.
And last week, some of the students in kindergarten got to show off their new skills in front of the entire school. And for one student, getting to perform with his class was his favorite part.
I love my whole class.
Michaela Henschel, Primetime Local News.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Apply to the hairstyling program and take the lead working with clients in the on-campus salon. Lakeland College, leading learning since 1913.
It was Take Your Child to Work Day at E.S. Laird Middle School, and here at the Primetime Local News Station, we had a pair of grade 9 students join us to learn a bit more about what we do here. The girls had the chance to experience a variety of different jobs within our building, including being in the newsroom, radio production, and observing the studio.
It was an opportunity to learn what people do and the TV, how they make commercials.
We even put the girls to work and let them take on an interview of their own for a little fun.
I'm here with Rhiannon Giles. So, Rhiannon, what was your favorite thing about today?
I really liked doing production because it was cool to see how he was to make the commercials for the radio.
Morgan Mann, a teacher at E.S. Laird, says today is a nationwide event that has been running for over 10 years.
It's an opportunity for kids to get out and see what their parents do in the workplace. It's also career education, students who are interested in a specific career from engineering to medicine to law.
Rhiannon Giles, Primetime Local News.
Callie Alexander, Primetime Local News.
Great job, girls. And now we're going to take a look at our stock market prices.
Welcome back. Well, here's another conversation that pulls at the heartstrings. I delve into letting go of a family member on the farm.
It's a challenge to have to fire someone in the workplace. It's even more difficult when it's a family member. Farm family coach Elaine Fraze says, don't procrastinate.
The lack of respect is killing good farm businesses, according to Dr. Jeffrey Bernstein. And he said that you think it because your adult child has problems that lets them off the hook for showing heartfelt respect. You may notice that he or she seems respectful when wanting something from you. Your adult child, however, turns on a dime or gets passive-aggressive if you reframe that request and you feel worn down and accept this chaos as normal.
Fraze says maybe there's a mental health issue and there are groups like Do More Ag taking up that challenge. She says expectations and job descriptions need to be clear. It's important, even on a family operation, that things are not taken for granted.
You need to treat the situation with dignity and have that conversation in a private space, and you probably should have your spouse or another part of your farm team there just to witness how you've conducted the meeting.
Ideally, there would be a written job description, but on many family operations, that's not the case. Fraze is glad that's slowly changing. She says the next step is to explain to the rest of the team what has happened.
I have experiences of a family who did fire their son. The son was back in the family meeting when I was coaching them when his brother was going to be the successor. It did put a strain on the relationship, but there's two systems at play here. There's the family system, so you're always going to be father-son or father-daughter, mother-daughter, but you have to separate that from what's best for the farm business.
Fraze points to the courage to make these decisions in the face of family stability, mental health, and the future of the farm.
Well, I think your happiness and your sense of purpose and well-being is a pretty good indicator Gerard. So a lot of people need to have a good talk with themselves first.
Quite the conversation indeed there. Well, before we go, just to wish all 4-Hers happy 4-H Day, let's check those agriculture prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Switching over to sports now, one of the keys to the Lloydminster Bobcats' success moving forward is the play of rookie goaltender Cale Elder. In this week's Beyond the Boards, Josh Ryan looks at how the young goaltender's calm demeanor has helped him adjust to the larger role than expected in the fall.
Goalies are a different breed. Some might even call them crazy.
I would want to stop pucks all day, every day, so pretty tough position to go to.
However, what separates Cale Elder from his peers is a seeming lack of unusual quirks.
I've heard that before. I've heard that other goalies are quite weird and all that stuff.
The first-year netminder has made a strong impression this season, endearing himself to teammates with a relaxed approach to the game and pushing veterans in off-ice contests.
He's always weirdly calm and joking around with the guys. He's not too uptight before a game and nervous, so it's good to be loose like that.
Goalies are like, you just expect him to be quirky, but he's just not really. He's just like one of the guys. Everyone has their own way to get ready, but like when you have someone that's in the group all the time, it's easier, yeah.
I think that's just kind of like my personality, just going around, having fun, talking to all the guys, and then once it gets a little bit closer to game time, that's when it's time to focus up and really set in.
Elder still practices many pregame traditions of goaltending, especially around visualization.
Right when I get my pads on, I grab my glove and blocker, and I just I come out here like just outside the room, and I just kind of take like a little bit more time to focus on myself and what I'm gonna do there. And it's just like a lot of visualization, just kind of like in my own little quiet space.
Penciled in as a starter due to injuries has given the rookie plenty of opportunities, but his mindset hasn't changed from what it was at the start of September.
Just kind of more so coming into it playing like, hey, yeah, like I'll play the odd game here and there, but just got to perform how I can when I do get that chance.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
Beyond the Boards is brought to you by City Centre Auto Body. At City Centre Auto Body, they can fix anything, now on both sides of the border.
Now we're going to send it to Josh Ryan, who is actually live right now at the Bobcats game.
Thank you. I'm back at the Civic Center, joined by defenseman Zach Ziegler. Zach, it's been a tough time for the team in recent weeks, a couple of key injuries to some of your leadership core, and now you have a tough stretch of games against some very good teams, obviously starting tonight with your rival, or local rival, certainly the Bonnyville Pontiacs. What's the key to excelling during a time where you're without key faces of the team?
I think everyone just has to pick up their game, right? It's the small things. We got a good group of guys in here, and they know their role. They know what they have to do out there, and yeah, we're missing some key parts right now. But if everyone steps up their game another level, we'll be fine.
Okay. And so, what do you guys do in practice to kind of reinforce that message?
I think just gotta bring up our compete level. Just tell them hard work's gonna beat talent any day of the week. So we just tell them to bring your competes and bring it every night and go from there.
Now, obviously, you do have a couple of games in hand on other teams in the division, so while you sit last in the standings, a couple of wins, that changes things drastically. Is that kind of a little bit of confidence for the group, knowing that there's room to make up ground?
Oh, for sure, right? Those are big points that might come down the stretch here, and when we have those games in hand, we got to take advantage of them, and hopefully we can and pull out a big win tonight and get some momentum and go from there.
Now, on the screen just a few moments before, we were looking at Cale Elder. How important has his performance been as a rookie thrust into this situation?
He's been huge for us. He coming in as a rookie goaltender and getting as much playing time as he did at the beginning of the year here is it's a lot, but he's been holding his ground and doing his part, and we feel confident with him back there. And yeah, can't say enough about his performance so far.
And hopefully he can continue that performance tonight when they take on the Bonnyville Pontiacs at 7:30 here at the Civic Center. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Josh. Taking a look at our current temperatures here across the region. -11 here in the border city, still seeing that light flurry action. Should be tapering off tonight, and then we could see it back for the weekend, unfortunately. -11 in Vermilion, rather. -13 in Vegreville. I cannot speak today. Vegreville. -7 in Edmonton. St. Paul sitting at -10, -10 for Bonnyville, -11 up in Cold Lake. Do factor in the wind chill in all of these areas, feeling much cooler here in the border city, feeling like -18. -11 in Maidstone, -10 for North Battleford, -12 in St. Walburg, and Meadow Lake sitting at -10. As we look up north, a little bit cooler, -13 for Buffalo Narrows, -13 also in the Loche. Laurent sitting at -12 currently. And as we move into Alberta, -11 for Fort McMurray, -8 in Slave Lake, and then high level sitting at -13. As we look down south, quite cool still, -13 in Lethbridge, and as we move up the map a little bit warmer here, Medicine Hat at -9, -15 for Coronation, -13 in Swift Current, -10 currently in Kindersley, rather. And I just want to bring up our the next 48 hours. Look at this wind chill, a lot of pink, which is that -25 to -30 range. So we are going to be hovering in and out of that area until the weekend, unfortunately, and then we could see some more flurry action. Looking to our numbers for tomorrow, -11 here tomorrow, -11 also in Vermilion, same in Vegreville, a little bit warmer at -8 in Edmonton. As we move up the map, St. Paul going to hit a daytime high of -12, -10 for Bonnyville, -9 in Cold Lake and Pearceland, also in St. Walburg, -12 for Maidstone, and -10 degrees for North Battleford as a daytime high tomorrow. For the kids off to school tomorrow, -15 in the morning, but we will have some sunshine starting to peek through. Recess, -13 over the lunch hour, warming up to -11, and then home time getting cool again at -12. So we are going to be quite chilly. Tomorrow, reaching a daytime high of -11, -16 for the low there. Friday evening is when we could see those that precipitation start into the overnight into Saturday. We are expecting less than 2 centimeters, but we could see about 1 centimeter and a little bit more pile up there. So -5 for the daytime high on Friday. That's the same number on Saturday, but -18 Friday night for the low. So it is going to feel quite chilly. Sunday, -9, -14 there, and then Monday warming up to -4, -20. We are officially there. This is the first time we've seen -20 in that overnight low. Tuesday, warming up. We're going to go above the freezing mark to 2 degrees. Cloud cover there, -7 for the low. And then Wednesday, 75% chance at the moment we could see some more flurry action. -3 for the daytime high and -4 degrees for the low. But really, it's going to be Thursday into Saturday, or sorry, Friday into Saturday when we see that precipitation.
I'm Josh Ryan, again joined now by Chase Stevenson here at the Civic Center. Chase had to sit out some time this year because of injury, but back in the lineup over the road trip last weekend, and now making your first home appearance since the last time Bonnyville was in town, I guess. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. So I'm pretty excited to get back on the ice, back in my hometown. So looking forward to it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Hometown favorite, certainly. For this arena and this team. How do you feel having sat out nearly a month? How do you feel now in terms of rhythm and cardio pacing and such in practice? How has that felt so far?
Feeling good. Slowly getting back into things, kind of getting the rhythm back, getting used to being out there every day and working hard with the boys again. So it's nice. Good to be back with the guys every day. So it's awesome.
As one of the older guys in the team, obviously you're in the leadership group. Having Zach Kaiser out for an extended period doesn't help things, certainly when you're trying to make ground in the standings. What's one of the things you've been pressing on some of the younger guys right now with some really critical games ahead of you?
Yeah, we just got to get guys stepping up, right? So Kai's produces a lot of our points, and so we got to get guys producing on all 4 lines. Got to be up and down the line. Everyone's got to be coming to play every night, no passengers in there. So yeah, that's kind of the goal, is just picking up the slack and going from there.
And now with the Bonnyville Pontiacs, obviously a team tied for the division lead. And a team that you guys did play very close. You almost had them last time around. What's the strategy, or the mindset rather, going in against a team like this?
They're just a bigger team, so keeping it simple. Pucks out, pucks in deep, work them down low, and so yeah, they got bigger D-men. So you just gotta work down low, move your feet, and they'll be hard to keep up with us.
Fair enough, and obviously a chance maybe for some of the younger guys to prove themselves with this ice time.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be good. Good to see you guys stepping up, and yeah, who can bring their best every night.
Yeah, and is there any, what would you say to the fans if you want any specific chants you'd like to hear from them this evening?
I don't know, just the old "Go Bobcats, go," I guess. So that would be nice.
Okay. Maybe keeping it simple is, as you said earlier, the best way to go about things. Heading back, and we'll see what's on with social media in studio.
All right, well, as we saw earlier, a new transportation bus will become available here in the border city now that Greyhound has, stopped its services. Right. So that was our question of the day. Would you utilize this new bus service? And we did put out a poll, but I just want to read a couple of the questions first. Didi on Twitter says that she would rather make use of a public transit system here in the border city. And over on Facebook, a lot of people are saying, if I need a ride, possibly, but a lot of people are saying that they'd use it for cargo. Now, all of us we drive, but would you utilize?
Well, still, there was a point in time when I wasn't driving and I had to visit relatives in Calgary and such, and I depended on the bus to get there. I remember one time Greyhound left me outside in the cold for 3 hours.
Well, that's not good.
No, that's not good.
No, that's not good.
It did help my body to adjust, mind you.
There you go.
Real fast.
Yeah, just throw them in, throw them in.
So no, I would use that, and I take the point that someone is saying about transit around the city. That conversation has been going on forever.
Yeah, exactly. And just looking to the results of our poll here, 62% of you say, no, I wouldn't use it, and 38% of you say yes. So is that something you think you'd utilize?
I think because I've been driving for so long, I think that's just something I personally wouldn't use, but I can see why people would want the bus. But I personally probably would be in more of the 61% of the no. So
yeah, exactly. Well, you still have time to weigh in on our question of the day on our social media platforms, but right now we're going to check in with our pets of the day. First, we have Cheese and Otis. I love it. The cat is Cheese and the dog there is Otis. That was sent to us by Giselle. Thank you for sending that one in. This is Rocky. I love this photo. He's so happy out in the barn. He blends in there. That was sent to us by Pauline. This one is Kinch. Super cute. He got all muddy there with the cows. That was sent to us by Nikita. Next up, we have Boston. Look at that. If I see that dog out, I might steal it. That is sent to us by Shay. And last but not least, we have Flash, who's wearing a sock, but it looks like a little beret.
It
looks
does look like a
French
beret,
cat.
yeah.
That was sent to us by Kelsey. Thank you for sending
cool
those in. If you saw your animal here on Primetime Local News, you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card to Lloydminster's Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Continuing our financial series with Synergy Credit Union, and today our topic is protecting your financial foundation. I'd like to welcome Leanne with us today, Leanne Arden. And now, Leanne, you have another one of these long, fancy titles, so I'm going to get you to tell me what it is. What is your title?
I am the investment advisor for Credential Securities and an insurance representative with Credential Financial Strategies, Inc.
Okay, so let's get into this right away then, and we'll talk about financial foundation. What exactly is that?
So the financial foundation is really the base to the financial house. And the financial house is a concept that we use when introducing financial planning or getting someone started with their finances. So it's very similar to as if you were going to build your own dream home. You would start with that solid foundation first before you would put up your walls or your roof. And that foundation really is protecting yourself against any of the uncontrollable events, while those other parts are the controllable events. So first you would want to make that base, which would include savings and your investments, whether it's emergency funds and whatnot, before you start moving up the walls and the furnishings and whatnot. So that solid foundation are the uncontrollable events, whereas your furnishings within your home are the controllable events. So you want to make sure that first, everything you can't control is covered in the event an emergency happens, so that your house doesn't come crumbling down.
Right, and it actually makes sense when you think about it, because it could be something even like, you know, an unexpected medical event for yourself or a family member that could come up, and if you haven't saved for that or planned for that, as you said, it can bring the whole house crumbling down. So what is the best place to start then? What is the first thing that you should probably do?
So there are 3 real components to the financial foundation that we talk about to make sure that everything is in line before building the walls or putting on your roof. And again, you want to make sure, like building your home, that you have that solid base there first. So the first component would be to make sure that your estate is in order.
Right.
Have all of those documentations in place, like your will, a power of attorney, the living will. And I know it was talked about in a previous segment. These documents really help protect your assets or your wishes when you pass away, or if you can't make those decisions on your own. The second component would be life insurance, or the different insurances to protect yourself. So making sure that you have all of that protection in place to cover off your contents of your home or liability, and then insurance in place if you die. And then again, if you get hurt or sick, you really want to make sure that protection is there. The third component is setting up those emergency funds. So a lot of people feel like if they have access to credit cards or line of credits, that they have access to easy money and use that as an emergency fund, which might not be the best place to get funds from, because a lot of those debt instruments do carry high interest rates. So if you start missing payments, that could only compound an issue, or if you're in a what-if scenario. So it's best to have those emergency funds set up in some sort of savings account that you could access fairly readily.
And now when you're doing this, then it obviously kind of helps you into getting a bigger financial planning picture then too, right, if you're starting here?
Yes, absolutely. So once you get that solid base put in place, then you could look at, again, similar to building your home, putting up those walls or the roof. So that could be looking at different investment options to increase your savings for retirement or a child's education. Maybe it is those home purchases now, or additional real estate if you want to buy that cabin, or it's a rental property or whatever it may be. Because you have that solid base there, you can start looking at increasing your net worth in those different ways.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. And if anybody wants more information, what's the best place that they can go to get that?
So they can definitely come down to Synergy Credit Union. We have a number of experts that can help them there, or through Credential Financial Strategies. We love to help anybody else. So if you have those needs or want to get started, just stop on by the branch.
Okay, great. And we'll continue this conversation next hour. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hey Lakeland, Justin Marshall from Cool 101.3 with a look at what's happening around the Lakeland. Tonight, we're at BCHS where they host their annual coffee house, and it's till 9 o'clock if you want to come check it out. Pleased to be joined with student Kelly Bowler. Why do you guys keep doing this each and every year?
It's really important because it gives back to the communities and people who need help in third world countries, and it's just kind of heartwarming to know that you can help others while helping people in the community as well.
Well, $5 gets you a couple fair trade coffees and some desserts, which is a great deal. This event seems to get bigger and bigger. What's new this year?
This year we have live music. So we have one of our fellow students, Jessica Zog, will be singing, and she's also selling her Christmas CDs. And we have scarves and local honey from one of the families in Bonnyville will be selling there too.
Amazing. If you want more information, we have it all up at 1013coolfm.com. You can check that out. You guys have raised quite a bit of money for schools in years past. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And how'd you do last year?
We did fairly well, I think. Yeah, we gained a lot of money from the coffee house.
Awesome. Well, you can check it out at BCHS. We're here until 9 o'clock. And if you have an event you would like to feature on what's happening, please email Justin at 1013coolfm.com.